What is up, my ninja? Shinobi here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a Necromancer build that doesn't really have a name for it yet, so I coined the name Land of the Blood. And this build is a lot of fun. It's a different play style, but it's very, very, very strong. I've been seeing a few people do it on the leaderboards. I've been testing it myself as well, and it's topping the leaderboard currently for the Necromancer, getting up to like 107, 108 area for solo. Now keep in mind it is non-season, so people have a lot of Paragon, but the potential behind this build is very strong. It's even beating out all the other Necromancer builds currently, even the bugged builds and things like that. So yeah, this build definitely has a lot of potential. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with it, and I'm going to go over that and a variation to that build in this video right here. So what you're looking at in the background is the kind of standard setup for the build itself. The idea behind it is you just want to hunt elites and you just want to kill the Rift Guardian, pop those pylons in a really opportune moment so you can get some extra elites in there, some extra damage, reset cooldowns with channeling, things like that. And then when you get to the Rift Guardian, just wait for your cooldowns to come back up, and then you just completely obliterate them. The damage is insane for this build. It does take a little bit of getting used to actually use it. It revolves around Land of the Dead, and it revolves around Corpse Lance with the Blood Lance, and also Simulacrum. I'm going to go over every little thing in this build, so don't worry, we'll get to that. So now what you're seeing here is the variation to it that I've been messing with as well. I haven't seen people mess with this yet, but it's pretty much the exact same build, except it uses Corpse Explosion with Final Embrace. This is going to allow you to kind of flip the tables around and have kind of a opposite gameplay of it. Before, you were just hunting elites and you did really good on the Rift Guardian. Now you want density. You can get elites too, but you want to get density with those elites, and the Rift Guardian fight is going to be slow. This is going to be really kind of similar to something like Raycore. If you guys know Raycore, it's very good at the AoE, it's very good at clearing the Greater Rift, but then the Rift Guardian takes forever, right? So that's kind of the same thing. You might want to use something like Band of the Stricken with it. I'm going to show you both of these variations in this video, and let's go ahead and just get into all of it, and then I'll explain the gameplay a little bit more and go through piece by piece on how it all works. So here we are in town, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the build itself and all the skills and all that good stuff, and let you know everything that you need to know. Some restrictions, some things are very important for this build, so let's go through it right now. So we are using the 6-piece Tragouls set, and this set, for those of you that are new to Necromancer because it just came out, I'm going to explain exactly how this works here. So the 2-piece Blood Rush gains the effect of every rune. You are going to be using Blood Rush in this. Doesn't matter which rune you pick, because you're going to get all of them, and all of the runes are physical as well. So it doesn't matter which one you pick, you're just going to pick the any one that you want, but you're going to be using it. You're going to get the usage out of all the stuff, and it's actually quite nice. I like Blood Rush. It's quite a nice skill. Moving on to the 4-piece. Well, at full life, your healing from skills is added to your maximum life for 45 seconds up to 100%. This is going to give you a lot of health. Right now I have currently, as you can see in the video, hopefully you can see it there, I have about 623,000. My health actually doubles when this takes into effect, giving you essentially kind of a 50% damage reduction in a sense. So it gives you more health, and yeah, that's what it's all about right there. Now the 6-piece here, your life spending abilities deal 3,300% increased damage but cost twice as much life. Your healing from skills is increased by 100%. So this is going to allow us to do some really big damage with Corpse Lance, because if you want to know which ones actually fit under these categories, if you're testing this build yourself, or you're doing a variation, or you're doing a speed farm version or something like that, it's all the ones that just cost health. You know, whenever you spend health, you can just go through and look at where the red number percentage is. That's what's going to fall under that category, and that's what's going to get that big damage boost. And the 2 strongest abilities are Corpse Lance and Corpse Explosion. They are just insane damage, and yeah. So yeah, that's a 6-piece for that. Now the weapon that we're going to be using in our main hand here is going to be the Tragouls Corroded Fane. This is going to give you a big damage increase. Now keep in mind, the footage you were seeing on the screen of me doing a tier 90, right? I have like no ancients. I have no augments. I have one ancient. I think I have one ancient in all my gear. Yeah, I'm only 1300 Paragon, and I'm doing like a 90. A 90 with this current build. And imagine if you had augments. Imagine like the potential of how high you can get up to. Like I was talking about before, you can get like a 108 or higher. In a season, it's realistic that you're going to get 100 plus solo with this, unless Blizzard makes some kind of changes or something like that. Definitely realistic for that. So you're going to be using this weapon to get a damage increase. The main things, I'm going to go through each item on the stats in just a second, but I'm just going to talk quickly about the items. So this is just going to give you a damage bonus. The Curse Scythe rune for Grim Scythe now has a 100% chance to apply a curse. You don't care about that. You care about you deal 185% increased damage to cursed enemies. This goes up to 200%, and we are going to be using Decrepify, which is a curse, and this is going to allow you to do a lot more damage to things as well. So this is used in quite a few of these builds for the Necromancer, but yeah, you're going to be using that. You're going to be using double Unity combo. You're going to be using Traveler's Pledge Compass Rose combo. You're going to be using the Day Belt. It's going to give you up to a 50% damage reduction when you have your Decrepify, which you are going to have. And you're going to be using your offhand. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this. As far as options for us for the offhand, there's not a lot of options. So what you mainly care about for your offhand is that the secondary stat has maximum essence, which you see it does. You have crit chance, cooldown, and if you can get corpse lance damage or corpse explosion damage on there as well, that's really awesome. And also you just want this to be primal, right? You want it to be ancient because then you get more damage from the average damage on there as well. You get more stats and things like that. That's all you care about. This is why I'm using this in the offhand. You could use, it doesn't really matter what you use, anything you can equip here that fits those criteria that I said, that's fine. That's really fine. So the gems we're using is Bane of the Trapped, Esoteric Alteration, and Zaystone of Vengeance. These gems are not even that high of level, 75, 51, 83. I have some higher ones on some other characters that I have to find somewhere. But I was just doing this for the testing. You know, I've just been testing the builds. I haven't really been, you know, if I had full ancients, full augments, high gems and everything like that, higher Paragon, that I could fully test and show you the maximum benefit for it. But you can even look on the leaderboard like I was talking about earlier. You can see that, you know, some people are doing this, right? This guy's using the Corpse Lance version, which I'm showing you right now. That's 108. 108 right there. That's pretty crazy for solo for a new class in the game, especially for a set that people thought wasn't going to be very good. So now let's go ahead and talk about the cube. Show you a few cube items here. You're going to be using the Shadow Hook in your cube. This is going to give you more damage based off every point of maximum essence increases your damage by 0.5%. You don't care about the second half. And this is going to be really nice to give you lots and lots of damage. You see right now I have 328 essence, but that gets higher as well. Now you would think, why wouldn't you use a two-hander? You're doing such crazy burst damage with Corpse Lance. Why wouldn't you use a two-hander? Why don't you just use the Shadow Hook? The thing is, though, is you get more stats from this. You get more cooldown, which cooldown is the #1 key factor for this build. So you need to be able to do that. If you only use a two-hander, you'd only get 10% cooldown. Whereas if you use the main hand and the offhand, you get 18% cooldown. That actually is a huge deal. So yeah, that's why you're going to want to use the one-hand offhand combo over using this on your character. Now, you're also going to be using Corpse Whisper Pauldrons. Corpse Lance damage is increased by 30% for 3 seconds when you consume a corpse, max 20 stacks. Gives you a big amount of damage for your Corpse Lance. And then we also have the Cry Spin Sentence, which has been used quite a bit in a lot of Necromancer builds. Deal 100% increased damage against slowed enemies, or triple this bonus against enemies afflicted by any other type of control impairing effects. So, for instance, this would be like a stun, which you do stun because of Land of the Dead. Cold Rune is going to do a stun for you. It's going to do a frozen, then you're going to get a big damage bonus. So you get triple the effect from that. Definitely an interesting ring right there. Let's go ahead and talk about the skills now, because I've talked about a few of them so far, but let's talk about what they do and how it all works. Simulacrum Reservoir, so it's definitely going to be needed here. What it's going to do is a long cooldown. You're going to use this in conjunction with your Land of the Dead. So as you're about to pop Land of the Dead, pop Simulacrum to get this bonus, pop Land of the Dead, and then go ham. And that's pretty much like the rotation, but we'll go a little bit more into that later. Your maximum essence is increased by 100% while your Simulacrum is active. So this is going to give you more damage, right? Because if you have more essence, you do more damage. So then we're using Decrepify, like I said before. This is going to be using Borrowed Time, which is a really excellent rune. Gained 1% cooldown reduction for every enemy cursed up to a maximum of 20%. Get another 20% cooldown. Why not? And it does the job that you need with the curse and the damage reduction, giving you a damage bonus. It's all around just perfect for you. Going to be using Land of the Dead, probably my new favorite skill in all of Diablo 3. You can do a lot of stuff with this skill. This is really awesome. When you pop this bad boy, you just feel like a god. It's awesome. Land of the Dead. So all corpse skills can be used at will for 10 seconds. There's no requirement for corpses. You don't need any corpses. You don't need any other requirement. Use pop Land of the Dead, and you can use Corpse Lance as much as you want in those 10 seconds. And also, you're going to be stun locking everything around you because this freezes everything for you as well. It says periodically frozen, but it's stun locking. Like, it really is. I don't know if they want to nerf that or what. Please don't nerf that. It's really fun. Now, Corpse Lance, Blood Lance, you're going to be using, obviously, the blood version because you need to be getting that damage bonus because these other ones are not going to work, right? Because you're not going to get the damage bonus. These don't cost health. This one does. So this one's going to get the 3,300% damage increase. So spend 2% of your total health to launch an additional lance from yourself toward the target that deals 525% weapon damage as physical. I would have liked to see like maybe some AoE in there, but this is going to be your single target. This is where you're going to be taking stuff down with. You're taking elites down, Rift Guardians down really fastly. It's going to be crazy. And then you have Blood Rush. Like I said, you could pick any rune here. And then Devour, Cannibalize. This is going to help you for those unneeded corpses that are on the ground. And while you're destroying things, while you're killing stuff and corpses are falling on the ground for you, because you don't need the corpses because of Land of the Dead, right? When you're using your Corpse Lance, you're going to be able to consume all those corpses with Devour, which is going to be healing you. Because remember, you're going to be losing a lot of health when this goes down. When this starts going, your health's going to be dropping down. It's not because you're taking damage. It's because you're losing health from Blood Lance. So this is going to help restore some of that, right? Restore 3% of your health. This loses 2% of your health. So it evens out. And, you know, even though you're going to be going really fast, you're going to see your health drop down. If you do have to pop a health pot just so you can get an elite down or something like that, but it is going to come down to damage. The less that you need to use this, the more, the more health you're going to be able to save yourself, right? So the better damage you have, the better augments you have, better Paragon, everything like that, you're not going to use as much health because you're going to kill things faster. So, but Devour is very important for that. So a lot of people so far I've been seeing, a few people play this build, and they've been recommending that you would use Numlock, the Numlock trick with Devour. I usually am not one for the Numlock. I think you should just push the keys yourself, right? I don't really agree with Numlock in general, but for this, it does make a lot of sense. It allows you to use Corpse Lance more and you need to. You have that small window to do a lot of damage, and if you can't kill that elite in that 10-second period, which you should be able to, then you're going to be screwed, right? So, because you have to wait again for your cooldown. So, Devour with this, you can pop that. All you do is, for those of you that have never done it before, go into your keybinds, scroll down to your action bars. So I have mine set up for QWER, right? I have my Devour on my R, so this is my num 4. So I put my num 4 on there. So all I do is when I want this to automatically go, I just on my keyboard itself, I just hit 4 and numlock at the same time. And you just want to make sure that as soon as you hit it, your character is going to start moving. There we go. And there he goes. So now he's just going to do that automatically and just move by himself. So he's automatically just trying to grab corpses right now for you. So you're just going to go around and, yeah, that's it. So you're going to use all your abilities. Even if you die, the numlock still goes. If you click off your screen, the numlock will go away. And if you remake the game, I believe it will go away as well. So keep that in mind when you're doing that. We don't need to have that going on for 20 years, so let's just turn that off real quick. Let's take a look at the passives here. So Overwhelming Essence, this is going to give you 40 more max essence, which is very good, going to give you more damage. If you were going to switch out something here, this would probably be the only one that you do. Yes, you're going to lose some damage, but you know, you might be able to pick up something that you really need. You don't really need Final Service, just based off the way the gameplay works for it. But you know, this is still in the early parts. You know, Necromancer just came out. We're still testing stuff. You guys can try things out, see how you like it. But this is a build that I've been seeing do very, very well. You have Standalone as well. Increase armor by 100%, reduced by 10% for each active minion. You don't have any minions, so you don't care. So you get 100% armor. It's awesome. Spreading, Malediction. You're going to be receiving 1% damage bonus for each enemy afflicted by one of your curses. So it's going with your Decrepify. You're just going to throw this down. If you have 20 in there, you will see a little number that'll tell you how many people are inside of your Decrepify. And then you get up to a 20%. You'll get even more than a 20% damage bonus. I don't believe this is capped at all. You'll only be able to see up to 20 because of the way it counts for your other skill. But yeah. Then we have Blood is Power. After losing 100% of your maximum life, all ability cooldowns are reduced by 20%. This effect can reduce an ability cooldown more. You can't use it more than once, whatever. So yeah, so pretty much it just means that you get 20% cooldown. Like, you're going to lose health on a regular basis. Just that's how it works. Your health's going to go down. It's going to go back up. So you're just going to get another 20% cooldown off of this. So speaking of cooldown, let's go ahead and run into the build itself. And all the stats and everything like that. Now that you know all the gear that you need, how do the stats all work? So now as far as the stats and everything like that go for this build, currently I have about 45% cooldown. Cooldown is super important for you to have. You want to have it on your main hand, your offhand. If you can get on your reins, I don't have it on my reins, but if I could, I would. Get them on the rings. That's going to give you more cooldown on the gloves. You want to put a gem in the helm as well. If you can get cooldown on your Traveler's Pledge, that would be really nice. But I mean, right now the main focus is like losing 20% physical or 100% crit damage or something like that is a huge hit, right? So I would say don't worry about the amulet for now. Worry more about the rings. If you can, that's going to be the tougher part to get. But the other ones, like just to get as much as I have, like I said, the main hand, the offhand, the gloves, the helm, yeah. So that's going to be your cooldown for the build there. It's also going to be fine to focus on your max essence. So on the secondary for this weapon, you're going to want max essence cooldown, you know, and all the regular stuff for your damage increase. On your offhand, like I said, you want your average damage, crit chance, cooldown. If you can get corpse lance damage, awesome. If you can get, you know, corpse explosion, depending on which version you're going with, and then also max essence in the secondary there. Just the regular rolls on the boots, regular rolls on the pants. You just want to get your defensives up on the belt as well. Whatever's going to give you the most toughness. I'm going to be using, like I said, cooldown here. So int crit chance cooldown and crit damage. I'm going to be using cooldown here, int vitality. I think you can get corpse lance damage on here. So you'd want to ideally have int vitality, corpse lance, and cooldown. That would be really nice to have. On your chest piece, you can get corpse lance damage. So you want int vitality, corpse lance, resistance secondary if you can. On the helm, you're going to be doing int vitality, crit chance, and secondary is going to be having your cooldown. I mean your resistance. For the amulets, you're going to be physical, because this is a physical build. You're going to be doing physical damage with the corpse lance. You're going to be physical, crit chance, crit damage, with physical resistance secondary with a socket. And then I'm using physical over here as well, int crit chance and resistance secondary. And just the regular stuff for a lot of the builds. You're not really going to be focusing too much on attack speed. It's going to be more of crit chance, crit damage to mainly focus on. It's going to be hard for you to even build in some attack speed without sacrificing some crucial things like cooldown and other things like that. But cooldown is the main component behind this build. Like I said, Bane of the Trapped, Zaystone of Vengeance, and Esoteric Alteration. So you're going to get activation from your Bane of the Trapped because of Decrepify, so you don't need to be standing right next to the mobs. In fact, you don't want to be, because you're going to be getting more damage from Zaystone. If you're finding that when you're just starting doing this build just to try to learn it and you're having a difficulty with it, I can suggest using maybe the Molten Wild Gizzard instead of Zaystone, just to give you some more survivability. So you could go with that just to kind of help you out a little bit while you're learning this. But ideally, this is what you end up doing with the Zaystone anyway, so keep that in mind. Now, as far as the Paragons go, you want to be maxing out your Essence. You want more Essence, right? So you can get more damage, your movement speed, and then just Int, and then all the regular stuff for all the other stuff. Focusing on cooldown first, then the others, and then focusing on armor first, life, then resist, and then over here focusing on area damage, life on hit, and then resource cost reduction doesn't really matter. So yeah, let me show you a little bit of the variation for the other builds. So I'm going to show you the two builds right now. We're going to go in, I'm going to show you a little bit of the gameplay and how it all works, and then I'm going to show you the other version of the build. So we're going to go ahead and pop our cooldown here. Alright, so we're just going to go into just a regular T13 Rift right now. And what we're going to do is we're just going to jump around. We're going to jump around and we're going to go find an elite real quick. So let's go see if we can get ourselves an elite. You just want to be jumping around just constantly. This is what you're fishing for elites with this particular setup. So here we got a blue pack right here. So here we go. I just want to stack them all kind of close together. There, they're kind of stacked together. Then we pop Simulacrum, then we pop Land of the Dead, then we're just going to go ham. That's it. Just like that. He's dead. Now, I know it's only T13, but you saw some of the footage before and what you're capable of. You can do some crazy, crazy stuff with this. Now, after Land of the Dead expires and after you have no more corpses left, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to do any more damage anymore. So you're going to have to go to the next elite. You're going to have to wait for your cooldowns to come back up. Rinse and repeat. That's how it works. You have to just wait for those cooldowns. And it is unfortunate. Like, it is kind of like boring gameplay in between, like, the craziness where I mean, I wish that you could just constantly non-stop spam your Land of the Dead with Corpse Lance. If you could, that would be amazing. Using the Nemesis Bracer, so if we do get pylons here, then, you know, we can pop all that and get some more use out of our stuff. Alright, so this is, so we're going to grab all these guys here, we're going to Simulacrum, then we're going to pop all this, and boom, he's dead. There it is, just simple as that. It's a very simple gameplay, very simple. Just a lot of fishing, a lot of single target and things of that sort. Now, like I said, this is for a solo Greater Rift pushing type build. As far as like a speed build for like GR, for like doing like what I'm doing right now, that's not really going to be good. See, like I can't use this right now. It won't let me use Corpse Lance because I don't have any corpses, right? And you can't kill anything besides that. I mean, I have one corpse right there, but it gets consumed automatically from Devour. So yeah, so I jump around. We're gonna just wait for this cooldown to come back up, and it's just rinse and repeat, just like this when you're doing a Greater Rift. Jump around, Simulacrum, pop this, and boom. There it is. Look at that. That's a trillion hit right there. One of those hits was a trillion. That was 995 billion. It's crazy damage. It is absolutely crazy damage. Okay, we're back in now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the variation in this build. This is all you do to switch up the build. This is it right here. So you go Corpse Lance, Corpse Explosion instead, Final Embrace. There it is. And then go to your cube, switch out the shoulders in your cube for the Grasp of Essence. When an exploded corpse damages at least one enemy, your Corpse Explosion deals 100% increased damage for 6 seconds, stacking 5 times. There it is. That's all you do. You're done. You're done. That's the variation right there. And let's go ahead and take a look at what this bad boy looks like. So we're gonna do like an 80 real quick just to show you. If we get some good density, oh, this is a good map for density. So here we go. Let's get some stuff going on here. Just doing this 80. Oh, we got 2 elite packs here. It looks like, I think. Is this just 2 or 1? We want Frozen to go off, and then we want to pop our stuff. Okay, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Blowing everything up. Look at that. 2 elite packs just down just like that on an 80, and we're already ahead. Then you just rinse and repeat. You wait for it to happen again. You wait for your cooldowns to come back up again, so make sure you're getting your 20 stacks to be able to get the most out of your cooldown. Stack a bunch of density around. So you want to bring a bunch of density to your target location for when you blow up the next elites and things of that sort. So let's go ahead and see if we can find some stuff here. So this one here, you don't even really need to have an elite. You just need to have good progression, you know, regular situations for a greater rift. So we can just go ahead and just blow this up here. We'll go with this because we all got our cool. We want to use it on cooldown as much as possible. Okay, here we go. Pop everything. Watch his explosions. Look at this. Boom, boom. See ya. See ya. So fun, man. So fun. Crazy explosions. Crazy damage. Good times. Now, as far as gameplay goes, something I do need to mention here. When you're fighting elites for this, you want to avoid juggernauts because you're not going to get your big damage bonus because you're not going to be able to stun them, right? So avoid juggernaut, maybe even avoid reflect damage because you might not be able to survive that damage because, you know, you're losing health while everything's stunned. You're still taking that reflect damage. So maybe even try to avoid reflect damage. But okay, here we go. We got another guy here. Pop everything. I know I'm standing close there when I have my Zays, but time is important. It's more important to get damage going as quick as possible than to move out of the way and lose time and then not get the guy down. You know, and then we just got a conduit here, which I could have popped before, but I'm just showing you guys some gameplay and what it looks like. Yeah, channeling pylon is going to be huge for you. I would suggest with channeling pylon that you pop Land of the Dead before you pick up channeling because it will reset the cooldown on channeling, so it gives you another opportunity to use channeling. So yeah, that's what I mean, another opportunity to use the Land of Dead, another opportunity to use all your cooldowns. So we're just going to kill this guy with the conduit. Oh, he didn't die? That was so close. That was so close that he didn't die. Alright, we got a blue pack here too. Is this guy coming or what? Let's go, buddy. I might be able to be... Oh, here we go. These guys are going to follow. These guys are good boys. Alright, so we got a bunch of them in the thing right now. Just going to get them all together. Pop this, pop that. Boom. Blow them up. Be careful of affixes. You don't want to be standing in an arcane while you're trying to do all this because you will die, right? So it's a little bit of the gameplay. If you have any more questions, guys, check out my live stream. I'll be testing this build more. It's definitely a lot of fun. I can see why some people would not enjoy it just because it's really just fishing. Like, you're just waiting for cooldowns to come back up. But, I mean, you know, if you can get the cooldowns back up faster with something like Obsidian Rain, unfortunately it doesn't work with this because you need every one of these skills here. The only one that you could maybe get rid of would be Devour, but then how would you survive during your onslaughts? You could maybe make it work. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the sub button if you guys are new here. Like I said, check out my live stream. And my name's Shinobi, and until next time, thanks for watching. Oh, so lovely. Look at that. Oh, look at all the explosions.